Okay, I wanted to do number 7 with you because you have some problems like number 7, and I want to make sure that you understand what you're supposed to do. On number 7, you don't have an angle. You don't have angle A or angle B, so you have to find it. So you just pick an angle you want to start with. So let's say we're going to put theta right there in angle A, and we want to find angle A. So we look at 11, see how 11 is opposite theta? And the 13, since it's across from the hypotenuse, or across from the right angle, it's the hypotenuse. So we have O and H, which is sine. So we're trying to find angle A, so I'm going to put sine of A. I'm just going to put A instead of theta to keep track of what I'm trying to find. So sine of A equals opposite 11 over hypotenuse 13. And then to find this, go to your calculator, and you're going to hit second sine, and it's going to come up with the sine to the negative 1, and then you're going to type in this fraction, 11 divided by 13. And when you do that, you get 57, and I'm going to round that to 0.8. So angle A is 57.8 degrees. Okay, so now you've got to find angle B. So you're going to look at the 11 and the 13 again. So I'm going to scratch out the O, because if I'm trying to find angle B, 11 is adjacent to angle B. So I'm going to call that an A now. And the 13 is still the hypotenuse. So I have A and H, which is cosine. So I'm going to do cosine of B equals adjacent 11 over hypotenuse 13. And I'm going to do the same thing. Second cosine, so I get cosine to the negative 1. I'm going to type in that fraction, 11 divided by 13, and I get 32.2. So angle B equals 32.2 degrees. Okay, so there's my two angles. Now to finish solving this right triangle, you have to find side AC. Since you already know 11 and 13, you can do Pythagorean theorem and do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You could solve it that way. If you don't like using Pythagorean theorem, or if you'd rather use trig, then you could use the trig. So I'm going to do it with trig just because that's what this unit is based on. But if you wanted to do Pythagorean theorem, there's nothing wrong with that. So if I do the trig, I'm just going to pick an angle. You can pick angle A or angle B. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to pick angle A, the 57.8. So this is 57.8 degrees. And I'm trying to find AC, so I'm going to put an X right there. And I'm going to use the 11. You could use a 13. It really doesn't matter. There's so many different ways you could get this answer. We just all need to match for X at the end, but there's lots of different ways you could do it. So I'm going to pick the 11. The 11 is opposite, and the X is adjacent. So opposite and adjacent means I'm doing tangent. So I'm going to do tangent of 57.8 equals opposite 11 over adjacent X. So this time, since I have the angle, I'm going to hit the regular tangent button. So I'm going to hit my tangent of 57.8. And I'm going to round this to 4 decimal places. The 9, there's a 7 behind it, so everything could round up. So we're just going to call this 1.58. And since it's 797, I'm just going to round that up to 80. So I've got 1.58, and then I took the 797 and rounded up to 80. If you kept it 79, our answers wouldn't be too far off. Equals 11 over X. Now since this 11 is on top, I am going to put that in first to divide. So I'm going to do 11 divided by 1.5880. And I get that X is 6.9. So side AC is 6.9. So if you did Pythagorean theorem, you might have something close to this. It might be 6.8, it might be 7. But as long as we're in the same ballpark, you're good. Okay? So now look back at your table of contents and see which problems you're supposed to practice on this page.